Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual, guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. I'm doing a second video. Yes, I am. Because the sentiment, I agree with Neo San Francisco, my subscriber, sentiment is changing. He's over there in China, by the way. He's been there, he's moved there for months now. And I agree with him. The sentiment is changing in Wall Street. And he said a couple of months ago that the only time that NEO share price will skyrocket is when Wall Street wants it to. And he's right about that. This is the way the game is played. And they let it go when they have no choice. And NEO has reached that stage where they're finished making their money from shorting it, the whales that is, and then they release it. When they release it, the uneducated investor keeps shorting it and end up bankrupt. That's what usually happens. And that's what's going to happen again. Well, the sentiment in Wall Street is changing yet again. But why is that? Well, let's start off with this. In the third quarter that just took place, a lot of the figures have now came out as to who's been buying. Quadrature Capital Limited increased its stake in shares of NEO by 32.3% in the third quarter, according to its most recent 13F filing. With the SEC, the firm owned 2,209,020 shares of the company stock after buying an additional 538,907 shares. But why did they buy that additional shares? During the period, Quadrature Capital Limited owned 0.13% of NEO, worth $14,756,000 of its most recent filing with the SEC. While you have trolls and the shorts are starting to ramp up again, I notice, and they're coming out because they realize what's happening. The sentiment is changing and they're trying their best to spread FUD. So there's, excuse me guys, they're starting to come out on my channel again. It says, several other hedge funds and other institutional investors have also modified their holdings of the stock. Hilltop Holdings Incorporated bought a new stake in shares of NEO during the third quarter worth about $130,000. Garden State Investment Advisory Services LLC bought a new stake in NEO in the third quarter valued about $377,000. Point72 Hong Kong Limited bought a new stake in NEO in the third quarter valued at about $4,879,000, a new stake. And Flow Traders US LLC bought a new stake in NEO in the third quarter valued about $141,000. And finally, Forma LLC boosted its holdings in NEO by 5,388% in the third quarter that just took place. Forma LLC now owns 5,394,895 shares of the company stock valued at $36,038,000. 36 million. After purchasing an additional 5,296,601 shares during the period. Institutional investors now own 48.55% of the company stock. Now, but why is all of this going on? Well, let me give the person due credit. One of my subscribers this morning said, his name is Larry Cheese and Chong. As today, China declares that China is not going to buy semiconductor chips from US companies, including auto EV chips. From US companies, including auto EV chips. Currently, several Chinese EV manufacturers are buying auto chips from the US. And now NEO will be able to sell auto chips to these Chinese EV companies. With NEO only company that have such technology and development of these auto chips. Now that's a very important observation, because I was doing some research and I found out that China was actually urging the China Top Auto Industry Trade Group urges caution in purchasing US semiconductor chips. And this happened about a week ago. So I'm not sure if this is right, But if it's right and they're now banning them from buying these chips from America, at one point they had no choice to buy them. But why did this happen? It happened because it came after 3 years of America crackdown on Chinese semiconductor industry, curbing exports to 140 companies. For the last 3 years, the Biden administration has been doing this. Well, when you have China back up against the wall, they just innovate and do it themselves. Yes. So just like with Huawei, with the phones, they're the first phones to be satellite connected to the regular citizens of the country. No other country in the world was doing that and still isn't doing it to this point. When their back is up against the wall, they innovate. And NIO has the chips for the LiDAR. They have the driverless chips that's coming out with the ET9. That's 4 times faster than an NVIDIA or an X chips. What do you think will happen to American semiconductor companies like NVIDIA? Keep your eyes out, guys. Let's just see. So, while all of this is happening, NIO scores a win in Australia in dispute with Audi over EV trademarks. Audi's opposition has been rejected and NIO has been allowed to move forward with the registration of the ES series of trademarks in Australia. So there was a big battle about that, and NIO basically won that battle. So it's the same battle took place in Europe, but they lost the battle in Europe. They won the battle in Australia. NIO is still fighting, and I believe NIO will enter Australia next year as well as part of the 25 countries. We'll see. I also saw that BYD won a contract in Japan for their EVs to help with the grid. Well, what do you think will happen when NIO goes there? Possibly next year as well. This is where battery swap stations come into the equation. We not just sell energy back to the grid, but we balances the grid. Also, NIO swap station plant in Wuhan to reach capacity of 1,500 in 2025. You heard that right. NIO's new battery swap station plant in Wuhan, Hubei province saw its 100th battery swap station roll off the assembly line today, entering the scale-up phase of production. Entering the scale-up phase of production is expected to accelerate the construction of battery swap stations next year as the capacity of a new plant that produces the facilities increases. The company's power business unit, NIO Power Battery Swap Station plant in Wuhan in central China, Hubei province, saw its 100 swap station roll off the assembly line today. According to an announcement by the Wuhan East Lake High-Tech Development Zone Administrative Committee, this marks the official entry into the large-scale mass production phase of NIO Power's largest energy product manufacturing site in the world, the announcement said. The production facility, which covers an area of about 20,000 square meters, took 2 months from inception to production startup, only 2 months, and is expected to deliver about 200 battery swap stations during this year. By 2025, the facility maximum capacity will reach 1,500 battery swap stations with an annual output value of more than RMB 275 million US, driving more upstream and downstream industry chain companies to Wuhan Optics Valley, where NIO Power is headquartered, the announcement said. NIO Power is an important business of NIO, has built a chargeable, swappable, and upgradable energy service system and participated in the formulation of a number of national and industry standards. National and industry standards, the announcement read. The business has grown into the world's largest battery swap service operator, leading the drive to make charging more convenient than refueling a reality, the announcement said. Yes, in less than 3 minutes. To date, NIO Power has 6 manufacturing centers around the world with a cumulative total of 2,806 battery swap stations and 24,455 charging piles, according to the announcement. Officials in Wuhan, as well as NIO executives, including Senior Vice President Shen Fei, witnessed a 100 battery swap station roll off the line. So, as we continue to scale up and ramp up, the whales are recognizing. Wall Street is starting to release us again. And I'm not saying that it's going to be a smooth transition back up. They will always shake off the weak hands, and I will be at the bottom of the tree to feed as they fall. One one short put a comment on my last video this morning saying, "Oh, it's going to be another 5 years, and a lot of you guys will be on pension at that time. It'll be too late. You're crazy to hold on." Yes, this person thinks 5 years is a very long time, and you shouldn't hold on. This is the instant gratification welfare culture I was talking about. So once you guys have the patience and you see what's happening, everything is coming together, even with our SkyO system and the chips, other manufacturers will be using them. This company is going to be a behemoth that will dominate the landscape. I hope you guys found this video to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so, guys, do not forget to hit that thumbs up, because it takes a lot of time to do these videos and editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we have that warrior mindset where we're waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie. From the ground level, as the way the game is played, and like 50 Cent, we get rich or we die trying, guys.